What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I'm Anthony. On today's video, I'm going to be giving you 5 reasons why you should be growing the Daikon radish. So stay tuned. That's right, today we're going to be talking about the Daikon radish, a crop that is slowly becoming one of my absolute favorite survival plants, and I'm going to explain to you why in this video. Alrighty, I'm not going to tap dance around on this one, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The number one reason why I think everybody should be growing the Daikon radish is simple. You see this root, you see how it's kind of growing crazy, it looks almost like a carrot? Well, this root is extremely strong. When I say extremely strong, I'm talking about rivals the strength of a sunflower. So, if you need to make sure that you are being able to penetrate and bore down into tougher soils, you need to be planting some Daikon radish. Let me explain. There are some soils like mine that have a higher clay content than I would like. All right, you can grow things better in a more sandy soil, something that I do not have. I happen to have a lot more clay. That's why when I try to grow in the ground, you see a visible difference between the things I grow in the ground versus the things I grow in my raised beds, which is why I have so many raised beds. But if I am going to be planting in the ground, I have to make sure I put some things down that are going to help kind of break through that hard pan. Things are going to make it so I don't have to sit out here with a fork or like a disc or something like that, a tiller, to keep on making that soil so it's not quite as compact. One of those plants is this bad boy right here. Because this taproot is so vigorous and so strong, it can absolutely bust through even the toughest layers of clay, which is why I put it in my arsenal in the first place, so I can be able to plant things after the fact. Now it's going to bring me to number 2. It kind of piggybacks off number 1. This plant, the Daikon radish, is an extremely good scavenger of leftover minerals in the soil. Now, what I mean by leftover minerals is plants need to have a whole bunch of things to be able to grow. The 3 main ones are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. If you put your garden to bed without giving it a cover crop or covering it up with some kind of mulch, there's a really good chance that you're going to lose some of those nutrients to either the atmosphere or being washed out from the rain. If you're not constantly feeding, you're constantly losing, okay? Nitrogen is one of those that's very hard to keep in the soil because it wants to keep going back into the atmosphere. So that's where this bad boy comes in right here. You can use this as a cover crop and it's going to act as a sponge and suck in all those nutrients. That way you're not losing them over the course of the wintertime. So the good thing about this one is you can put it down in the fall and a heavy freeze is going to kill it. So if you put this down first, let it go till about, I don't know, November, whenever your first freeze is. Once it's about 28 degrees, this plant is going to die, okay? This is going to start dying back and the roots are going to die. When that happens, that means all those nutrients that this plant had collected is going to slowly decompose into the soil for the next planting in the spring. Essentially what that means is if you like to organically garden, you don't like spraying chemicals on your garden, if you put this down as a cover crop, let the winter kill it and let it decompose, you are going to have a whole bunch of nutrients for the spring planting to be able to use. That's going to bring me to number 3. Number 3 reason why you need to be growing this is because it grows freaking fast. When I say freaking fast, I mean it's a radish. If you grow standard red globe radishes, they're going to be done in about 28 to 31 days. Well, these guys don't grow quite that quick, but they definitely grow till around about 50 to 60 days, which is still amazing in terms of being able to harvest something that you can eat. And the best part is you can harvest at whatever interval you want. You can eat these tops. They're just like any other standard green. Very good for you, but you can also eat the root. And if you let it grow fully to completion, it's going to taste something like a turnip. So in a survival situation or a situation where you're going to need to have food quickly, it's going to be awesome to be able to put something down and be ready to eat in under 2 months. So number 4 is going to be quick and simple. These things, surprisingly enough, if you can believe it, are extremely high in vitamin C. For those of you who don't know, vitamin C is not very easy to come by in nature if you're looking outside of the fruit world. So you have to look at things like dark leafy vegetables and a few other things to actually get your vitamin C requirement. So if you can grow these bad boys, which you can grow when it's cold, then you're able to have a source of vitamin C that you can get very easily, okay? Vitamin C is pretty, let's just say unstable, so whenever you cook things, you are slowly cooking out the vitamin C. So remember, if you are boiling these bad boys, you're gonna wanna drink the water because that's where all the vitamin C is gonna be in. So if you, it's kind of the same principle as a potato. Since potatoes are high in vitamin C, same principle with this bad boy right here. If you need to make sure that you are having vitamin C, having a plan to have it in your diet, then you can add these to it and congratulations, you won't have to worry about getting the proper amount of vitamin C. And finally, we are gonna talk about number 5. The number 5 reason why you need to be growing Daikon radish is simple. Daikon radish is a biofumigant. What does that mean? What's always going to be going after your crops, regardless of what happens? pests. You have pests coming from literally every single direction, from the air, crawling on the ground, and yes, even pests down in the soil. And guess what? If you've ever heard of nematodes, or if you've ever had problems with your plants dying because of nematodes, you know that they are a massive problem and can be a massive problem. Well, guess what? There are certain plants out there that will help come to your defense. Everybody knows about marigolds. Marigolds, especially the French marigolds, secrete a hormone in the ground that actually kills nematodes. Well, this thing right here has a compound called glucosinolate that is very good at killing things like nematodes. More specifically, the beet cyst nematode. Now, there are nematodes that'll attack any kind of plant out there. There are literally thousands of types of nematodes. Some of them are good and others are very bad. If you've ever tried to grow certain plants and you pull the roots out and realize there's little knots on there, the root knot nematode, you realize how destructive they can be. So having a plant that can actually help cleanse the soil of those bad nematodes is only going to be beneficial. So if you live in an area where you happen to have a lot of soil-borne bacteria, soil-borne pests, try planting these out first before you plant your main garden, because these might actually kill some of those pests in the soil before they even get to those main garden plants. All right, so there's my list of 5 reasons why you should be growing the Daikon Radish. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and throw in a bonus number 6. I like to throw these bonuses every once in a while because it makes me feel good, and there's also, you know, just more knowledge out there. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bonus section here, and that's going to be, these are really good food for your deer plots. All right, if you like to grow deer plots or food for deer only because you like to hunt deer, then try adding these to that list. All right, if you put these down with something like clover and chicory, they're going to fill in very quickly, and deer can come and pick when they need, and it doesn't matter how much pressure you put on there. Unless they're really coming through every night and mowing it down, these are going to be able to withstand pressure, let's just put it that way, because a lot of times whenever you put these down, deer aren't just going to stop and then wait till these are fully grown and then start coming in. They're going to come through browsing every single night or every other night or whatever like that. So when you get something that's quick growing like a clover, it can recover better than something like a turnip would. All right, when you put these down, they grow just as fast, or if not faster, than other brassicas out there. So if you have pressure and they happen to eat this leaf and this leaf, well, guess what? They can grow the other ones quick, come back quickly. So within about a week or so, you're just gonna look like nothing ever was in there. So if you have a food plot that you're really worried about being overgrazed, try adding these in there because it might help you out. All right, so there you have, that is my list of 5 reasons why you should be growing the Daikon Radish. Hopefully this video helps you at least understand why I started growing these. I started growing these about a year ago, and you know what? They've actually been one of my new favorite plants because they grow so fast and they're actually pretty tasty. If you like things like kimchi, congratulations, you're eating Daikon Radish, right? A lot of people don't really know to eat them or know how to eat them because it's like, what is it? Is it a carrot? Is it a radish? Well, it tastes like a turnip, and you can treat it like a carrot. You can boil it, you can put it in things like stews. Not really that big of a deal, and I enjoy eating them if I put it in things like what I normally would make like a mirepoix. So if I put the mirepoix and I could put these in there like a stew, and I really can't even tell that I'm eating another root vegetable. It's just something else added to the broth. So hopefully you learned something from this video. I tried to put forth a video that you can consider growing something without directly eating it, because yeah, everybody can enjoy the fact that it's got a little bit of protein, the fact that it's got B vitamins and vitamin C, that kind of thing. But I like having the ability to grow plants that have multiple functions, all right? So if you can use a resource, especially something that you can eat, that's going to help you clean out the soil, break up the soil, that kind of thing, then it's only going to be better for you, especially if you're in a survival situation or a homesteading situation where you're trying to grow as much food as you can without having to shop at the store, all right? So being able to put something down that you can have multiple functions is what I really wanted to get through this video, and hopefully I was able to achieve that. If I did, please do me a humongous favor and give this video a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you are not, and I'll catch y'all later, okay?